Hi, this is Pam with ROC Metaphysical. I'm interviewing one of my contributing writers today. Just to backtrack, ROC Metaphysical is an online magazine. It has articles that are written and put out the first of the month online, along with event information, classes, all kinds of things. And part of this is now interviewing my writers and people that are in the metaphysical, spiritual realm to keep the magazine, interesting. So, excuse me. So today we're interviewing Melinda, who lives in Rochester, where we're both residing at this time. So yay, Rochester. And I met her a long time ago through friends. And then we've kind of been interconnected, so to speak. And so right now she has, I guess you would call it a company or your business, the Buddhi Institute.
Right.
You're an author and a blogger and a coach, and you teach classes and you offer spiritual travel for people. So you're a very busy person. So just a step back. So I think you originated from Texas.
Right.
All right. So I'm going to ask the question, how'd you get to Rochester?
Well, that's a long story. It was a glass of bourbon and a bet.
I didn't move there. I didn't move here that way. So
Well, that was a long time ago. I was in my 20s in the grand metropolis of Waco, Texas, and there was a few of us that figured that we were going to be stuck. Waco, Texas was not going to deliver a whole lot for an advertising career. So over a night of cards and a couple of glasses of bourbon, we all made a bet, and it was a game. So we all sent resumes out across the country, and whoever got a job, we were all going to go there and start our lives over. Like, we were in our mid-20s and fearless. So a friend of mine was actually hired to be the promotion director at the Gannett newspaper. And well, now I'm saying this live on TV. So they paid for her move to come up to Rochester. So the night before the moving truck came, I took my few boxes of possessions to her house, and so everything got moved up here. And it was just caution to the wind, just to get out of Texas and limiting belief systems and prejudice mindsets. I mean, I was going to die in Texas. I couldn't stay there. So
well, I have to say I relate, Melinda, because I grew up outside of if people are living in this area outside of Seneca Falls, and it was the same kind of thing. I am not going to, do well living here, although it's beautiful and it's pretty, but it just wasn't going to help me, my soul, my spirit to stay where I'm at. So I threw caution to the wind, and my friends lived in Buffalo. So I said, I'm out. Like 2 days after I graduated from the local college, I packed up my stuff in my car. That's how much stuff I had, and drove to Buffalo, and then, through varying circumstances, ended up in Rochester. So
right.
I mean, same kind of thing. So I totally got it, and it was a good choice, because now, if you can take a look back, you're like, I'm glad I did it, because I would have not have been a happy camper if I was still living there.
Yeah, I couldn't stay there. The other two people chickened out, and as I recall, they're still in Waco, Texas. Never did move. And my friend left after 3 years. She didn't like the cold and missed Southern lifestyle, but I just took to it. I loved the Four Seasons and the people, and the inclusive nature, and well, it's just it's an educated community. So I remember one of my first experiences. It was startling to me. I was at a restaurant on Park Avenue. I think it was called the Big Apple. Back then, restaurants changed so much, and I mean, I hadn't been here even 10 days, and small cafe, and there were, it was late 80s. and there was, I guess what you'd call like a yuppie couple, and then me and my friend, and then some people came in like with the mohawks, and then I've never seen it before, but people that were, you know, obviously Jewish, and so everyone's all in this restaurant. And so, being from Texas, I'm waiting for all hell to break loose. You know, I'm waiting for someone to say something to something else, and people just ask, "Hey, maybe you pass the ketchup and have it." And so I remember I went to Wegmans, the Wegmans on East Avenue after that, and got like 12 postcards and wrote to my friends, "I can't believe what just happened. I'm in the most perfect place. This, you know, this is what I believe in, that there's peace and harmony, and everyone admires each other and gets along with each other. I think I'm in heaven on earth." And that's the first thing that I wrote about being in Rochester.
And just as an addition to that, I mean, when I moved here, to find that there's such a deep well of people that are really into metaphysical, spiritual, you know, questioning, you know, wanting to know more. I mean, you could throw a stick and you would hit somebody that's into energy work or some aspect of spirituality or tarot cards or whatever. So, you know, I just love that it's there, just the same as you, that it, from what we see, and I think we're positive people, that there is this unity, you know, feeling here in Rochester that
Yeah. It's an inclusive, connected community, and
right,
and I think that that's difficult to find in a lot of places in the grand old USA. So
right.
you've got your snow, you know, you've got your cold, but I mean, everything else that comes with Rochester and upstate New York and the Finger Lakes region is, I think, divine is the perfect word for it, to be honest.
Okay, so fast forward, you
Mhm.
know, you kind of did your thing and somehow you decided to do Buddhi Institute. So why did that happen?
Well, that happened because when I went back to school to get my master's degree in comparative religions and general philosophy, I was a member of a group called Authentic Women that was run by a different woman named Jody, who started the group. And as you've been a presenter for Authentic Women a couple of times, they asked me to present a couple of times just on different ideas. My background is in the yoga sciences, like thoroughly explaining yoga, not the poses, not the asanas, but the philosophies belonging to yoga, which uh, are designed to teach you how to integrate and create union between your human nature and your divine self. So that fascinated me, and the fact that the yoga is presented it as a science, it's a step-by-step process for enlightenment and awakening. Those are the topics I normally did my presentations on. Well, Miss Jody decided to step down. At that time, the group was about 120 members, and you know, everyone was quite sad because what had been established in that short time was a sisterhood of dynamic spiritual women. And we're like, what are we going to do? And so they asked me to take over as facilitator. So I agreed. I didn't think it would be that complicated, and it's not. You know, Authentic Women meets, you know, once a month and has a variety of presenters on different topics, you know, like yourself. This upcoming first meeting in January will be Sheila Tillich. So it's always fun to bring together different presenters on different topics of what healing is, what spirituality is, and you know, share our wisdom. So in the process of developing and running Authentic Women, different members of the group are wanting classes. You know, I'd like to learn more about this topic. I'd like private coaching. Can we meet one-on-one? And so from facilitating Authentic Women, Buddhi Institute organically came into being.
Okay, so then Buddhi Institute is located at the Assisi Institute on Winton Road in Rochester. So you have your office there, and I know
Right.
with Authentic Women, and we should say, if you're in the area, you can physically meet if you go to Authentic Women on Meetup, and you do Zoom. So if women want to join the Authentic Women, they can search it out on Meetup and join, and then you offer both in person and in Zoom. So
Right.
and it's a nice group of people. It's very natural and real. I mean, there's no pretension, and people come with knowledge, no knowledge. It's just a nice way to talk about spirituality and all its aspects, depending on who the presenter is. So, you know, we want to
Definitely relaxed atmosphere. You know, I mean, like I said, to me, there's nothing more powerful than getting together a group of spiritually minded women.
right,
And, you know, we used to meet the first Monday of every month. Now we meet the second Friday of every month, excuse me. And so now that it's Fridays and people are generally tired at the end of the week, I just say, just come, put your hair in a ponytail, put on some baggy sweats, wear your pajamas, and put some boots on top of it, and just come. We know that you're beautiful. It's not a fashion show. It's an opportunity to get together, and if you need to be lifted up, the sisterhood lifts you up. If you've got great news to share, it's a soul tribe of
right,
dynamic women. Right.
right.
Everyone is welcome. Right.
So that's one aspect. And so the other part is through probably your education and searching and, coming to deeper understandings, and you've written quite a few books. So talk about that.
Okay. Well, I ended up writing, everything's happened organically by accident. The first book, Practicing Peace Guidebook, came into being. It was the holiday season of 2015, I believe, and that was I was having Tuesday night meditation groups, and I decided to run a 3-week meditation series on practicing peace and inhaling peace, becoming peace, and sending that out into the world. And so I had some people sign up for this class, and they were very excited. But the practice was to immerse yourself into a deep state of inner peace to be shared with the world for 21 days. And it was the Thanksgiving weekend prior to that beginning, and I realized that a lot of the students did not know how to hold space on their own without guidance. And so I decided to make a little book. And so I just printed it all off at Kinko's. I created these 21 meditations. This is what you're going to do on this day. This is day 2. This is day 3. This is what you contemplate. This is what you inhale. This is what you exhale. And within 10 days of this practice, the women were reaching out to me and say, "Oh my God, this would make a perfect Christmas gift. Can I have more of these? Can you reprint it?" So long story short on that, I sat down, I think the second weekend in December, and put together 10 more meditations, and found a printer that could produce the book and have it completed within 10 days, so that people would have Practicing Peace Guidebook. So here's the original copy of that. It's still available on, can you see it? So
yeah.
Practicing Peace Guidebook. The original copy is actually my favorite. It's still available on Amazon, but I've written a couple of new additions to that. So there's like the Freedom Edition, I think, is also available. But the thing that I love about it is the way that it's designed. So like, what's today? Is it still the 29th, or was that yesterday? So like every day has a practice. So each practice takes about 2 minutes. On day 29, it's a prayer for peace. And so every practice in the book only has 2 pages. So the goal is for everyone that has obtained a copy of Practicing Peace Guidebook is to do the meditation for that day, and everyone doing these meditations are quantumly connected. And it's prayers for peace that go out to the world. And as we know, on a quantum level, any prayer that you say for anyone else also provides you the same healing. So It's a great little book. It's a great little book. I still read it. I still do it. I still do the practices. And all these years later, I'm amazed at still my response. Some days I'm just reading the book and trembling because the practice is so powerful.
Well, and with quantum too, I mean, you're putting that energy out. And maybe that's why Rochester's got such a great vibe, is that we're all working, to help up, positivity and unity. And that's, There's like a good vortex going on here in Rochester. So you've written other books, and I know.
Yes. Let's see. All right, so the next book is a dynamic book of insights, 30 daily mindfulness practices. And these are just some selections from the blog that, again, it's designed to be a daily reader. Like here's one called Bye Bye Ego. So I don't design books that you have to sit with and contemplate. Truth is a power. I don't know how well these things
Yep, I can see it.
So these books are designed to engage you with a meditative or mindfulness practice for that day, just that day, and what tends to happen when people get involved in their own spiritual development, their spiritual practices, they're so excited. And, they're reading Deepak and Brene Brown and, Eckhart Tolle, and there's all these things that they're trying to remember in real time and in real time space. And you can't remember all the spiritual teachings. So when you settle down and you're just practicing one thing for the day is what I highly recommend. And that's what these daily readers are for. So like, here's one, the vortex of life. So this just reminds you, that's your practice for that day. That's what you're working on. And over time, you become the wisdom, and the wisdom becomes you. So again, that's a yoga. The two of you become one. The wisdom and you become one.
Right. And you're also a part of the Kriya. I don't know if that has any impact on, you and how you offer your classes. It's a practice. I've attended some of the monthly Monday get-togethers. I've kind of fallen off, and hopefully now we're over the holidays soon that I can get back to that. But that is just, it's just a place to, think about, they read something out of the manual, I guess you could say, and then we talk about it, and then you kind of process it. And a lot of it is doing, deep internal work and trying to come to a place again of peace and, acceptance and understanding. I don't know if you want to talk about that or just acknowledge that that is another part of you that makes you do the work, I guess.
Are you talking about Kriya yoga practice?
Yeah.
The meditative practice? Well, that's a different level of practice. And I'll say it's not for everybody. So Kriya yoga is actually an extension of bhakti yoga. Bhakti meaning, devotion or love to God. And so for many people, once you've been on your spiritual path for a while and you begin to have your own mystical experience, your own self-wisdom of rising above your human design and beginning to experience your own divine nature, the God guru within, you fall in love with yourself, not in a conceited way, but you fall in love with love, realizing that it's really the only connecting, binding force that's true and real. And so you need a way to connect with that. And so Kriya yoga is a meditative practice, again, an extension from the yoga sciences, with the main guru being Yogananda, who wrote Autobiography of a Yoga. Kriya yoga is a meditative practice that enables you to saturate yourself inside of a comfort field of love and devotion to God, and being in love with love, and rising yourself to a place of being rooted in heart chakra. So it requires a little bit of meditation practice that you are comfortable sitting. Is comfortable sitting in the silence. Because some days your practice will be, you're just watching your thoughts bounce around in your mind. Some days the practice will be noticing that you're tense and you're tight. And then there's days that you feel like you're just being massaged by angels. like your soul is being massaged by angels. So Kriya Yoga is a practice of devotion.
Yeah, and I would say if you want to know more, to check out the Assisi Institute,
Right.
because they offer instruction, and there's a group that gets together. So definitely check out the Assisi Institute as a side note for those people that would like to know a little more. So is there anything else that you think we should say or talk about before we tie this up?
Well, I'll just, mention the classes. The ongoing online group classes will begin again in January. There's a Tuesday night group and a Wednesday night group. If you're looking to explore the yoga sciences and embody yogic wisdom, if you love yoga and you want to learn the philosophies of it, the practical applied awareness of it, the classes are really, really good. What's being offered in January is it's a spiritual immersion. I normally do my spiritual immersions in the summertime when people have more light and freedom, but this one is called Dare to Shine. It's a 9-week spiritual immersion that follows the teachings of the 4 agreements that allow it week by week by week by week. It takes you through a process of releasing outdated agreements that you've made that are the ghost in the machine running the subconscious triggers in your body, releasing those to have absolute Buddhi awareness of your intentions, your whys, and allowing yourself to love what you really love, and getting out of your own fear. And daring to shine. Dare to Shine is that class.
That sounds really interesting.
It's a great immersion, and everyone that's done it has come out completely transformed on the other side. So it's a good self-investment. It's going to be a great practice for the first 9 weeks of the new year. It begins January 17th though. And then the Wednesday night group has been going on for years now. We're currently in a session called Clearing the Way to New Year. And then we'll begin a new session January 18th on the laws of karma. So ironically, Pam, you and I are meeting today on the first day of Mercury retrograde.
So things are working so far.
Yeah, no, and well, I'm excited about this particular retrograde because it's got a different feel to it than most retrograde events. So this one, it really is clearing the way into the new year. This one is aspected in Capricorn, ruled by Jupiter. So we're entering into this new year with Jupiter's a planet of love and learning life's lessons in an easy, flowing way. And it's involved with Saturn. So basically, this new year is about coming into a good relationship with karma and dharma. Going into 2023 is an invitation to create a life that you love. So the Wednesday night group is about the laws of karma and how to clear karma and really express yourself in all ways through love. So laws of karma. That's going to be a great class.
Right. So, this is maybe an indication of what's to come for both of us, that we've decided to do these interviews and, put our faces out there and, hope that good things will come of it. So let's talk about your website. So tell us what the website is.
Well, it's www.buddhi, institute.com. The website just showcases everything that's available. I mean, it explains what the yoga sciences are, it explains what consciousness is, explains what applied awareness is, and it always shows upcoming events, upcoming classes where you can register for everything. It shows upcoming retreats, next women's retreats. It's always Earth Day weekends. And that weekend, there's always like this great meteor shower. So where we go, it's just by a lake and no lights and plenty of stars. We can watch all the shooting stars. These are yoga mindfulness weekend retreats for women. So that's upcoming. So the website just shows all retreats, all books that are coming out. There's a new one coming out called Living from Heart Center that will be available in January. It's the website shows all the coaching programs that are designed for any level, where you can start light and check in with yourself, or you can go deep. So
Right. And so part of your offerings too, and I see it and wish I could go, is that you go usually to Asia or somewhere in the Indonesia, you know.
I try to do one big trip a year. And of course that was sidelined during COVID. So I am putting together, generally we go to Bali every August, which is always just an extraordinary experience. So I don't have the details up for Bali yet, but it is planned and scheduled for August of 2023.
All right. Well, I just wanted to put that out there because whenever I see the pictures from your prior trips, you know, I'm like, oh boy, I would so love to go, but you know, I don't have the time typically, but very envious. And maybe when I'm not working a day job, then that would be something I'd be able to do. So I want to make sure we got that. So, all right, we got the website, ROC Institute, the Buddhi Institute, and I think that's it. So I should say that this YouTube video will be on my YouTube channel for ROC Metaphysical. So you can go on to YouTube and look for that. It also be posted whenever there's articles that is on the magazine. So you'll see this, and I'm hoping this will get you some more folks that want to sign up for your classes and or travel. So I think that's it.
Well, thank you, Pam. I appreciate it. It's always a
Sure.
pleasure to be in your company.
All right, well, thank you. So I'm gonna say thanks to you also, and I'm gonna hit the stop button, so hang on.